Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be showing you all of my settings, all of my attachments on Rainbow Six Siege. It's been like a few weeks now since I've done a video like this, and I've been getting it requested so much down there in the comments. So I wanted to bring this to you guys sooner rather than later. Now I know I haven't uploaded in the last few days. I do want to get back to the daily uploads like the solo queue series. By the way, that's the main thing on my channel, so check that out if you haven't already. We're solo queuing to champ right now, making great progress. I think we're like 12-2 this season, with like a 3 KD if you care about the stats like that. But regardless, let's get into the settings video. So we'll be going through everything from the top here in the options. Before we get into these settings as well, I want to tell you guys I will be showing you my recoil on every gun in the game pretty much. At least every loadout that I use on each operator. So I'll be going over all that after these settings, so stick around for that. And I know that's the F2 of the extended barrel in the intro and some SMG-12 clips I put together. Just some shots for you guys, something light. If you did want to know too, I'll go over my equipment that I use, I guess you could call it, like the setup. So I use a PowerA Spectra Infinity controller right now. I use Control Freaks, they're the black Galaxy ones. High rise on the right stick, low on the left, or mid, whatever the other one that comes with it is. And I use the left back paddle for crouch. It's more of like a button on that controller that does the crouch. I also use the Elite 2 sometimes. I haven't used it in a bit now, though. That's what I was using before. I just kind of prefer this controller for Siege alone, and then the other controller for other games. But when I use that controller, same thing. Left paddle for crouch, all default settings. I don't use any of the like special Elite settings. And there's 3 options for the trigger stops. I use the one in the middle, basically, for the left trigger and the right trigger. And I don't use any other like button layouts or anything. Just default. So I have B to the crouch on the back. So let's get right into these settings though. So on the drone after prep, that's the most important thing here. You probably want to have that semi-automatic or manual. Semi makes it so it kicks you off your teammates' drones still, which I don't really care too much about. Like, I'm not controlling it, so it doesn't matter too much. And then manual just kicks it off everything, or it doesn't kick it off anything, sorry. So I use semi for that. Just make sure it's not automatic. You don't want to use that. If you're on Last Gen 2, I'd recommend turning your match replay off. It's what I used for a while. I'm on Series S now, though, so it's not a problem. I just feel like it helps with like game crashes or whatever. By the way, if you're not on Next Gen, I would definitely recommend that. That makes it so much easier. I used to play my YouTube series back on the Last Gen console for the first few months before I upgraded. Made all the difference. So for HUD settings, I have everything on default except for the health. That's just personal preference. It already shows at the top anyway, so I don't really feel like I need the number down there, especially when it like blinks when you're super low. I feel like it's more distracting, but just all personal preference, really. I don't think it matters either way. For audio, you definitely want to use night mode. I get asked this a lot, like how I hear everything so well. And that just comes with the game sense. It makes it easier to tell where sounds are coming from because you just expect that. But also night mode helps a lot with steps. It basically makes steps louder and then like your gunshots and close range sounds quieter. It may not be for you. I heard TV's good too. Because night mode is sometimes hard unless you're a really advanced player to tell where the sounds are actually coming from. That's why I hear a lot of people like blaming sound when they die, like they can't tell. And that's why. It's not really the game, it's just hard to hear in this game because propagation. Sounds come from so many directions at once. So you just gotta get used to it. Onto the display settings, I use no VSync. I heard it puts like input delay, so I don't really care either way. I couldn't tell a difference. On graphic mode, I use performance, obviously. Do not want to use resolution when you're on Next Gen. FOV 84. I use my HUD in 80. This is what this does. I get this asked a lot too. It like zooms everything out. Like this is your in-game one. You can see in the background there. So that's why I use 80. I get asked that a lot, why my game looks different, and that is one of the reasons. And for brightness, I use 65. By the way, for my earbuds, I forgot to mention, I use earbuds. HyperX Cloud earbuds is what I use. I get that asked quite a bit too. And then for my monitor, I use a ViewSonic 165 Hz. It's 24 inches, in case you were wondering. Trying to go over everything in this video. Vibration disabled here. Gadget deployment advanced. You want drone deployment advanced too. These are very important. So don't you get stuck. Like when you're throwing your drone, you don't get locked into animation. Easy drone baits. Leaning behavior alternate. I get this asked a bit too. I have just practiced doing like the quick lean like this. It's basically like leaning from the hip. You just got to get the buttons down at the exact same time, like the trigger and the stick. But once you do that, it's basically like PC at that point. It's really good. I would recommend learning that. Again, I don't use anything for like the layout or inputs. My sensitivity, the most important part of this video probably that you're here for. 55 vert, 80 horizontal. I know the vert is high, but once you learn, I feel like it makes recoil so much easier. I've done a couple of hand cams as well before if you want to check those out. My oldest one I actually did on last gen with a worse monitor and a default controller, so that like proves it right there. I think I was using the F2 in that as well. For my dead zones, I use 8-3. I use 3 on the right stick because it feels very responsive. I feel like it's worth it. I do have a slight bit of drift like to the left and to the bottom, but again, I think it's worth it on the right stick because just way more responsive. But don't want any higher than 5 personally for the right stick one. If you have more drift than 5, then I just recommend a new controller at that point. And then left stick, I use 8 because a little bit of drift as well. Left stick doesn't matter as much. Okay, for the ADS sensitivity, I use 25 1x, 43 2.5. These are the most important. I'm not even sure I've used another scope so far this season, so here they are, though, if you do want to know my other scopes. These are the main ones. The 2543 feels really nice. I got that in the Shadow Legacy ADS calculator. You can look that up online. I did that in my last settings video, actually, and I found these numbers, and they've worked very well for me. And then on the advanced settings, make sure they're all 0 and then disabled if you're not using these. For some reason, even if you have like one of them on and then disabled, it still goes through, and I don't know why. But it does feel like it goes through, so I would recommend turning them all to 0 first. I used to have that problem back in the day because I did not know that when I came back to the game, because these were never a thing before that. Okay, we're on accessibility now. Last tab, I use black optic. My other favorite colors are like purple, yellow. Anything that doesn't really blend into the backgrounds is good, I feel like. And black never really has for me, so I use that. I feel like it's less distracting too, so I actually focus on the target other than my reticule. Or opposed to my reticule. And then I use 75 opacity because the ACOG is quite thick. And I do prefer ACOG B, like the old ACOG. And then the Hollow A is also pretty thick this season. Make sure your screen shake is off. That's for like fuse charges, breeze charges. It doesn't shake your screen around. It's terrible. And then I use blue for opposing team color, by the way, because claymores, they're easier to see when they're blue, I feel like. But just personal preference there. Okay, so starting at the top 4 attachments, we'll get right into it on attack. I'll go over the sledge loadout first. I use the L8 with compensator, actually. And as you'll quickly find out, I use lasers on all my attackers, pretty much. I feel like this is worth it on attack because ADS is faster, if you didn't know, for this season. On defense, I don't use any lasers, for the most part. But I will go over the ones I do use. But I feel like it's more worth it on attack because you're the one pushing anyway. Like, they're probably going to know where you are, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of the time the laser is just worth it, though. I don't feel like it hurts you that much, so I do run it on all my attackers. And then again, like I said, I prefer magnified B, which is the old ACOG, and then compensator on the L8. Compensator is going to be for like left and right recoil. And then I use vertical on this gun. Horizontal kind of feels weird, so I just prefer the old-fashioned vert. And I'll show you the recoil. I actually like struggle for some reason. Not like struggle, but I don't control this gun as well as I do others, I feel like. You can see it takes a couple tries. There you go, that's better there. It usually does take a couple tries to get each gun down, but again, this is another way to tell I'm not using like a Cronus or something. You can see my recoil was jumping there at the start. It usually takes a second to control it. For Thatcher, I prefer the AR-33. I like this on Flores a lot too. So we'll go over this one. I was just using this in my last video actually in Cafe. Again, the solo queues will be returning soon. I'm going to start playing more soon. And I'll try to get those up daily again for you guys. Back in my prime. There's that one. For Ash, I prefer Flash Hider. I forgot to go over my Thatcher actually, so there it is for you guys. This is going to be like a standard loadout right here. Horizontal, flash, laser, ACOG. So just get ready for that. Here we are again, same thing with Ash and the R4C. On this gun, I prefer this ACOG. Probably the vert grip, honestly. I don't like this gun as much. I feel like this one's better in every way. Like, R4C has more damage by 1, way higher fire rate. less recoil in my opinion, especially like left and right recoil. So I feel like there's no need to run the G3 anymore. And yeah, there's the recoil even with a horizontal grip on there. Sometimes I will run this gun for like close range maps with a hollow A instead. Like this. I feel like this is really good too. It actually ADS is faster if you didn't know. When you have the 1X's on. Not much recoil on that. There's like so low recoil, I'm like moving in an accident. Pretty much. Moving on though to Thermite. I have been liking this gun a lot this season. I don't use Therm much obviously, but when I do, I have been enjoying this gun. I mean, yeah, what else to say about that? Really good. And on to the F2 Extended. We already went over this in the intro a little bit there, but here it is again for you guys. No recoil with that Extended. This is like one of the guns a lot of people call me out for cheating because, I mean, it's Extended barrel on the F2 already, which is one of the highest guns, but I feel like there's no vertical recoil for me, really. It was jumping a little bit there, actually, but I've just been practicing so much with 55 vertical sensitivity. I've been using that for like a year now, pretty much. So I've really got the recoils down well. And it's a lot easier to control. You gotta be precise with your thumb, but once you can, it's really good. Here's my Montane. Don't know why I don't have a laser on it, but I mean, I haven't played Montane in forever now. There's my Glass. I don't really play Glass either, though, to be honest. There's Fuse. On the AK, actually, I use the horizontal grip. This may be weird as well, but I use horizontal grip, that ACOG, flash, laser. I feel like this gun, even with the horizontal, is really good. Like, I mean, that thing does not move. That's like a dot. That's like the least amount of recoil yet. I am a high fire rate weapon kind of player as well. Like, you can see I have less recoil on that and the F2 than I did on, like, Sledge's gun, which is crazy. Okay, moving on to the IQ. I've actually been liking flash hider recently over the Extended barrel to go along with the other attachments. I mean, yeah, there's that gun. That's actually one of my favorite lower fire rate guns. I'll go over the G8 too. I don't really play it on IQ, but I do use it on Omru, to be honest. Use the horizontal on that too. That's a good little drill, by the way, just a bonus tip. To practice controlling recoil. Try to like flick around and control your spray transfers really well. Like that, it helps a lot for recoil. And just for overall like movement and stuff and aim. For buck, I use Extended barrel. Some guns I will just prefer Extended barrel if they don't have much recoil. Kind of like the F2 earlier. I do love Buck's gun as well. Very good one. I don't play Blackbeard, I'm going to be honest. My loadout's basically not even set up on this. Let's just throw Extended barrel on there. Why not? Do the Extended barrel and the horizontal. Let's see how bad this is. I don't really like this gun. That thing's kicking. Don't recommend using that. Probably want to throw a vert grip on there at least. On Capitao, I use Extended barrel right now, but sometimes I do like the suppressor as well. So let me try that. I go back and forth between the two on the guns with no recoil. I don't know, something about the way suppressor feels. I don't know if that's just me. Tell me in the comments if you guys like using suppressor too. It just feels so nice, and it sounds clean when you're shooting. So it just feels like it helps me, I don't know. For Habana, I use Vert Grip Flash and ACOG. Then I'll go back here with the classic. Nothing crazy about this loadout. I do like Habana's gun, it's a really good one. I feel like it's underrated even. For Jackal, just the normal stuff here. Flash, horizontal, ACOG. I don't use any of like the or the ACOG A, like the 1.5 ACOG. I don't use that on anything, I don't think. I don't know if it's just nostalgia or whatever since I've been playing so long, but I just prefer the old-fashioned. On Ying, actually, I use suppressor. I've been using this with the horizontal ACOG. And sometimes I even use the hollow A. Because when you're Ying, you're going to want to be more aggressive, so I feel like ACOG takes way too long to ADS on the LMGs. But it's not bad still, like, no recoil on this thing. Let me try the hollow A and see how that feels. Yeah, like, I feel like that might be worth, honestly. Like, you're ADSing a little bit quicker, at least. Zofia, I've been going back and forth between, like, the flash and the compensator. With invert grip. I do love this gun, though. I've been using this more this season. I'll be using my solo queues as well, so stick around for those. Yeah, it kicks left and right a little bit with a flash. Moving on to Dokkaebi with the DMR. Horizontal grip on all DMRs for me. Muzzle brake. Standard stuff for the rest. And then the Hollow A on the SMG-12 with a laser. Since you're on attack again. But that trigger finger, though. My trigger finger on the cage shotgun's gonna be crazy later. Let me try the SMG-12 now, since I have it. One of my favorite guns in the game. Probably my favorite right now. Yeah, no recoil on that thing. God, I love this gun, man. I warm up with this thing like every single day before I play still. When I do play. For Lion, this is my preferred loadout in this gun, but I've actually been liking the 417 more recently. With the horizontal, of course. So I use the 417 first. That thing has like no recoil, man. It doesn't move. Probably the best DMR in the game, I'd say. I mean, this gun's so good too. Like, it's such a hard choice picking between these two. They both have their benefits. For the LMG, I use ACOG flash horizontal. LMGs are crazy this season, if you didn't know. Like, they have no recoil anymore. Like, Finka's actually pretty solid this season of a pick. Like, how can you go wrong using that? Let me actually try this, too. I haven't tried this all season, but I kind of want to now, since I thought about it. Horizontal flash ACOG on the Zoe LMG. I haven't used this in so long now. Oh my goodness. This is about to be a cheat code for me, I think. No way, man. I might actually try using this season, like in my solo queue games even. That could be like a hidden secret. That's with a horizontal grip too. Like, the stats are not even that much worse than the main gun. Well, you have 5 times the ammo. You literally never have to stop shooting. That gun's something. For Maverick, I use the suppressor horizontal grip. With the ACOG, of course. There you go for that. No recoil on this thing. I do love this gun. I don't really play Maverick too much, though, because he's not the best, but there it is for you. Don't know why I have an angle grip on this one. I was trying some things at the start of the season. I like that. I used to love the ARX back in the day on like Villa with the ACOG. It was like my go-to. On Gridlock's gun, I use extended barrel, horizontal, laser. Just the same old stuff. Pretty much if it has extended barrel, I usually am going to use it. With some exceptions, of course. Ooh, that one's way up there. There we go. For Nook, I use ACOG, suppressor. I don't know, I feel like suppressor's is good in this gun when you're playing Nook. When you're doing like the whole sneaky thing. Nook's not the best anymore, but I wish she still had like her silent step, or she could like counter traps. That would be a crazy buff to Nook. Imagine she could just tank like Legion mines or Ella traps. They like wouldn't go off. Or Capcan traps or Fenrir's. That could be a good idea. Already went over the GA. I'll use the SMG-11 now for you. So Holloway still compensator instead of the flash hider, which might sound crazy to you, but it's really not, because this gun has mostly left and right, at least on console. So I feel like it's better that way. Like, look at that, man. That thing does not move. Well, that's a cheat code right there. As long as you can just pull down on the vertical, which again, I use 55 vertical, so it's pretty easy at this point for me, once I got the control of it down. So it's really good. For Callie's, SMG, same thing, compensator, laser. Let's try this. This gun's pretty good too. This is like a mini F2, a lot of people call it. And that is what it is. I think it has more left and right recoil. It's pretty random left and right, but besides that, it's really good. Already went over Yana there. Already went over that gun. Zero's gun, man. Probably my favorite gun in the game outside the SMG-12 right now. And it has been for a bit. I love this gun. That's why I never use the MP7 ACOG, because, like, when I have that thing, like, why do I need to use this? I just feel like this gun's better. Only 100 less fire rate, but 18 more damage when you're using that extended barrel on it. And only 5 less bullets. So I feel like it's just the play. Can't go wrong, but this gun is just something else, man. Even with a horizontal grip, so I'm a 4 speed right now. With the horizontal equipped. Like, I am flying around the map, man. What an insane weapon. Already went over Flores' gun earlier on Thatcher. Same loadout as Thatcher. Same with Osa's for Thermite. Ooh, for Sens. Now, for Sens, it's a tough choice for me. I do like this gun, but I feel like the 417 is the play. Kind of like on Twitch earlier when I was going over her. Again, sorry about my loadouts on this. I've not played with these before I did this video. I've only been playing in my solo account this season for the most part. But yeah, I feel like this loadout is the play if you're using this gun. Let's try this one first. I'll tell you if I like this more than the F2. That C-cup grip that people told me about in the comments gets me every time on Sens. So yeah, like once you get it down, that thing doesn't move. It looks like I'm cheating right there at the end, but I still think the 417 is the play on this. Get 30 more damage. Can't really go wrong either way. Again, same as IQ for Grim. Same as Capital for Brava. Same as Ash for the Ram R4C. Does it Ram? Oh my god, Ram has this. That could be crazy. Same loadout there for Zofia. And then for Dembos for this gun, I didn't go over this on Nomad, so I use ACOG, Comp, and Laser. I'll show you this one, and then we'll go on to defense. I do like this gun a lot, too. Like, sometimes I do run this on Nomad if I'm feeling it. If I'm feeling like an AK kind of day. You know what I mean? But, again, can't go wrong. Okay, on to defense. So, for the shotguns, I use iron sights, no laser. And then, same thing earlier on the SMG-11 like I was talking about. Same loadout for Mute. Okay, for Castle, I like the ACOG. And then either Suppressor or Compensator. And then the horizontal grip on this. I feel like that's the play on the Castle. Depends on the day again. This gun does jump left and right for some reason for me. I don't know why. But like with a Compensator, I feel like that's really solid. I do like that. Same thing with Pulse, just with a hollow A. Moving on to Doc here. I use the horizontal with a flash hider. I don't use extended barrel because it feels a little bit too jumpy for me. But I do prefer the horizontal, so I'm like a 2-speed Doc now. Running around really fast. Same thing with my Lucy too, since she's like a 3 armor originally. So that's why I use that on those. Same thing on Rook. Capcan, I use Hollow A Extended Vert for the 9x19. There you go for that one. No recoil. I do like that loaded a lot on that gun. Tachanka, exact same thing, but throw the ACOG right on there. Just like so. And we'll use this. I will use Tachanka at some point in the solo queue series this season. Don't worry. He will be coming. I know some people want to see that. For Jaeger, just the default stuff. I've been running this loadout all my career on Siege, basically. I used to be a Jaeger main back in the day. Hollow A, Flash Avert, all the way. I'm going to actually try horizontal on this gun. Because then I'm 3-speed Jaeger again, like the old days. See how that feels. I've never actually tried this, so we'll see. Ooh, I might do that. Feels really nice, actually. Yeah, I might stick with that, actually. Horizontal grip on Jaeger. We just figured it out together. Ooh, I actually did forget on attack. I was going to try this gun with the ACOG for you guys, in case you like it. Wow, that is jumpy with this attachment. Let me throw the comp on there. I've never used this with the ACOG. Okay, that's much better with a compensator. I'd recommend that, probably. Again, compensator is actually really good on console. Same thing on this compensator, Holloway. See how it is with the 1X. Wow, I pulled so far down on that. Definitely don't need the flash hider on this. Yeah, there you go. For this one, extended barrel horizontal ACOG. I do like this gun, even though it has like a slower fire rate. It seems like it always hits really hard. Could be hit or miss, though. For Valkyrie's MPX extended horizontal, same thing with Warden later. This thing has a laser beam. You have to hit your headshots, though, otherwise it is a pea shooter. Which is why I use the extended barrel and the horizontal grip on there. Cav, I use shotgun when I play her. No laser. No attachment there. That's how I set that up. No laser on this gun either. Echo, I have not played all season, actually. But when I do, there's the loadout. I use a flash hider on this, though. Just like that. I'll use the guns for you still. Why not? Yeah, just a bit unfortunate that he kind of sneaks, though. Without the ACOG. I wish he had the ACOG, man. He's still pretty good, like, as an operator, but... I don't know, that gun with the 1X just feels so weird to me. Because he's always had, like, a 1.5 or an ACOG back in the day. For Vector, compensator Holloway for this. This gun feels like a laser with that compensator. I'd really recommend it. It doesn't jump like at all. It's so good. Legion extended barrel horizontal. For the T5, no recoil machine. You definitely want to run that on that gun. For Ella, definitely as well, want to have a compensator. This gun is very jumpy left and right. Like, it will go all over the place. Like, even still with a compensator, you can see that thing jumping from me. Like, look at that, man. Once you, like, get past the halfway mark and bullets, like, it starts going everywhere. I feel like it's the most manageable, though, with a compensator on there. For Vigil, same thing there. For the Boss J, use the vert grip with a laser. I mean, there's that gun if you want to see me shoot it. I'll use this again, why not? Just because I'm an SMG-12 crutch. For Maestro's ACOG, I use that. Flash hider for Holloway, but I don't really use this. I actually prefer this gun on Maestro. Throw the laser on there, throw the horizontal grip on there. And now you're at 2-speed with this gun out. And it has, like, no recoil. And it's always going to be a 2-shot. I've been enjoying this recently. I am going to start using this in my solo queue games as well. And there you go. Dude, that thing has no recoil, man. It's so good. The one downside is the fire rate is terrible. That's why I've never really used it before recently. But I think it's worth it, honestly. You have the ACOG on Maestro. And he has 3 cams. For the MX4 Storm, I like the flash hider on this. I go back and forth between that and the comp, but I feel like flash hider's not bad. Sorry if you heard that. I just bumped you a little bit. Yeah, there's this gun. This gun's actually like one of the best defender guns in the game still, I feel like. It just doesn't have a ACOG or whatever. What if Alibi had ACOG? Would that be crazy or what? For Clash, I already went over that gun. Ooh, for Cade, I do love this gun. ACOG, vert grip, no suppressor, but it's up to you, honestly. Just a lot of the time, it's going to stick around corners more. And they're going to know where you are anyway if you're using Cade shotgun, let's be honest. Like, they're going to hear it with a suppressor. But it's up to you. Let's try it, why not? And then no laser. Since, again, you're on defense. I feel like on defense you hold angles more, so the laser gives you away. Gotta get used to this with a suppressor sound. Ooh, I kind of like that, though. I kind of like the feel of that. If I'm being honest here. Again, I got that trigger finger down with that gun. For the Roni, I use hollow A, extend, and angle grip. Angle grip just because of the reload time, since you have 15 bullets, so might as well up the reload time so you can quickly start shooting again. No recoil still, so no downsides to it. But if you didn't want to use that, I'd use the horizontal grip on that gun. For this gun as well, I'll use flash. Actually, I'll use extended barrel. Horizontal, then hollow A. I kind of don't know which gun I like more in Mozzie at the moment. Probably this one, but I don't know. It's a tough choice. Maybe not. I love that high fire rate on the other guns, so I don't know. On Warren, I literally just use the shotgun and the SMG-12. That's like my Warren loadout. But again, if I use the MPX, same thing as Valk. Same thing as Goyo on the Mira, just with the ACOG now. And there's that. Let me try the flash hider on this gun instead. Okay, yeah, comp might be the play. Jesus. For people saying I use a Cronus or whatever, like, how is that Cronus? That thing is kicking. Yeah, I feel like comp is probably better. It's still kicking. This gun is wild with ACOG, but I love it a lot still. For the MP5K, I use flash hider. That's all the choices on this gun. This gun's a little bit hit or miss for me too. Like sometimes it feels really good, and sometimes it's like, it's average. Not bad though. We already went over that. We already went over that. I don't use Thunderbird, but I'll use the shotgun, same loaded as Cav. For Thorn's gun, I'd use hollow A flash apparently. I mean, I don't play Thorn though. I don't play Thorn so long now since she doesn't have a zoom scope, so I'd recommend her. I don't know why this is messed up, but same thing as earlier I went over. Vert extended hollow A on the Azami, and then the shotgun, same as Maestro. I've actually been liking the comp on the P90 here. Compensator hollow A. Feels really smooth, no recoil on that thing. So many bullets. Same thing as Bandit for the Fenrir. And then for Two Barrel, just like this. No laser on that. There you go. I don't really play Two Barrel with that DMR much, so I'm not as good with that one. I don't play Maverick, obviously, who has that DMR too. But anyways, I think that's all the attachments. This video's already gone on long enough for you guys, so I do hope you enjoyed and found this helpful. I tried to go over everything I could. Last thing, if you stuck around for this long, I also used the first color filter option on the Xbox settings. If you're wondering why my game looked more vibrant than usual, that's just to counteract my monitor being quite dull, but besides that, that's everything. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like down there if you did. There should be daily solo queues coming up soon again. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!